Hey everybody, Neal Walter here from the Guitar Tricks channel with a free metal songwriting lesson coming your way. First off, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're missing out on a free guitar lesson. We'll give you 2 every week by clicking the link below and signing up for our newsletter. I'll send them directly to you every week. 2. Tip of the week, accidental harmonics. It's the same place you would find a pinch harmonic, but you just tap it with a little flesh on the side of your thumb after you've struck the note for a different effect in your lead playing, like this. It's pretty cool. You just tap where you would normally find a pinch harmonic, and they'll pop right out. On our lesson of the week, metal songwriting. This is a follow-up to our rock songwriting lesson where we used a 1-4-5 pattern, E, A, and B in the key of E to write metal riffs, which are the cornerstone of good metal songs. If you think of your favorite metal song, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, there's always going to be a main riff from there that you're like, yeah, as soon as it comes on. So I'm going to help you to write killer riffs and share with you my secrets of what makes a great riff. Chord progressions aren't being rewritten, they're being reused. So what makes them original is how you add your personality to it. And for me, the way to add more personality to a riff is to use chord inversions along with original rhythms and one note in common between the 3 or 4 chords that you're using. So what's a chord inversion? It's when you're playing a chord and the root note is not the same as the tonic. For example, if I'm playing an A minor, the root note here is A. That's the tonic. But if I make the root note the minor third, which is a C, then it's an A minor inversion. Okay, so we're going to use that as part of the riff making process. Now I'm going to start with E, open. Metal riffs always sound better in the lower range, so I'm going to use something lower, low power chords, just E, A, and B, with the added F sharp. And I'm going to add a metal rhythm in the right hand. Well, one thing I taught in the rock songwriting lesson is for the right hand rhythm, follow the bass line. Now, there's a lot of good metal galloping rhythms out there, so I'm just going to use a metal galloping rhythm as the rhythm, but you can also follow the drums. So here we go with the E. I'm going to use that rhythm. Now when I go to the A chord, I'm going to use the A root like this at the 5th fret of the E string. I'm going to add the minor third, and then I'm going to add the 5th right here. So that's going to be the 2nd chord. We're creating a riff here already just using these 2 chords. So now I'm going to go to a B. These are all minor chords, by the way. We're in the key of E minor. When I go to the B, I'm not going to do it the standard way. I'm going to add the F sharp in the bass, which makes it an inversion. And I'm going to use that as the bass note. So you got E, A, B. Repeat. And here I've created the groundwork for a riff in a song, and you can expand on this just with a couple minor changes, and I'll show you what that is. Playing around with the inversions and different voicings of a chord. Get your basic B power chord. I added the F sharp to make it a fuller power chord. You could also play this B by playing the B and the minor third, D, on the open string. So you have this version of B, this version of B minor. You can also use this version of B and combine those 3 versions, so you get something like this. And it sounds like the chords are changing, but you're really on the same chord. And when the bass is holding down that B or lower B note and the chord is changing around, but it's not really shifting, It's still the same chord with different voicings. Sounds freaking awesome. So now I'm going to put all three of those chords together, and it goes something like this. The other element I mentioned was keeping one note constant through the chord change. It's hard to keep one note going here, but the B is the closest note where it just goes up to the C and back to the B. So you got the E chord, the A chord, and the B chord. So the constant note here would be the B. Shifts up to C, which is very metal sounding, on the A chord, and then back to the B note within the B chord. So you have very metal sounding. So that's going on within all this other stuff, but it's still very straightforward and very rockin'. So hopefully this helps you write some killer metal songs. That's a simple 1-4-5. There's a lot of other really common chord progressions, but in the key of E, you've got the 1-4-5. You also have this pattern, E, C, D is very common. So just pick out those two chord progressions. Try shifting the third around using inversions, and that will help you stay in the same position while changing chords just by changing the voicings, and it'll sound great. So hopefully this helps you out. We'll be back here really soon. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and also at guitartricks.com/channel, where you can get free tabs to this lesson and all our Guitar Tricks channel lessons. Later. Yes.